Hello, good afternoon. It is Thursday, the 15th of February. Welcome to the Everton Daily Live Extra. News regarding 777 is reverberating around the world of football today. It's not. But there is news from the Telegraph. I don't know whether it's new news, given we knew that it was going to be the end of February anyway, that the decision Everton would know by. But it could be tomorrow, it could be next week. But it looks like we might be getting a decision very
Maybe
soon.
it'll be a twofer. That and the appeal.
Mm. We could have called this Everton's fate known by end of Feb, and then that would have covered all.
Fate known Friday. Could be like
The end of Feb won't be, isn't a Friday though, I don't think, is it?
But if they put it on a Friday, fate known Friday.
I think it's a Thursday, is it?
Well, the last day is,
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
could
actually
be-
not.
could be-
The last day's a Wednesday, isn't it?
could be next week.
Oh no, it's a Thursday. Yeah, 29. Well, yeah. Listen, we'll know, but it looks like we're gonna get to the end of this takeover thing anyway, which is one bit of clarity. What'll come first? The points deduction decision, because that could be tomorrow. Then again, it could be next week. What do you think?
As long as the Corey plays before both of them.
That's all you bothered
That's
about.
all I'm bothered about.
Well, no, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it being tomorrow, the points deduction thing. Ned apparently has got a bet in here with Chloe from the Redmen.
I mean,
And he was-
they're called the Redmen and she's female.
And
And it's sexist much.
He was
Time to
adamant.
cancel them.
He was adamant that Everton would have the decision by the end of the week, and he betted a tenner on it. No, I've literally spoke with her today. She said to me before, he's got about 28 hours or something till the bet runs out. All I'm saying is you need to clarify with the woman you've shook hands with. Well, Ned's really hoping it's by tomorrow that we get that decision. Doesn't want to be at Ned handing money over is a sight to see. Out of my cold, dead hand.
That'd be Ned.
Will you actually hand the money over to Ned? Really? Will you go through with it? Because you look like the type who has a bet but then never ever
You're
pays up.
talking about a lad who's just found an Under Armour top in the drawer that he lost a year ago, and it's straight on. Straight
That's
on.
all right if it's just I'm not criticising her for that. But would you?
Behave yourself. So why wouldn't you take it off her? Because she's a woman. Because she's a woman.
She'll take it off you though.
Mike's not on.
So
Your
you're
mic's
not
not
gonna-
on, by the way. Why have you left the mic over there?
It's all right. leave him be.
No. This is where.
He's at the end of the day, right?
No.
At the end of the day, he's not going to pay out. It was an empty
Because she's
bet.
a woman.
It was an empty bet.
It says more about you, Ned, than.
It was an empty bet. He did say he wouldn't take it off her. But yeah.
Didn't she say we'd get 12 points though? Anyway.
I clarified this with her. She said she never said anything of the sort. One of you's a lying.
That's not the bet, though.
One of you's a lying.
Why are you whispering?
Actually, you should be talking louder.
know.
You haven't got a mic. You should be talking louder. Hit the like button while you're here. Make sure you subscribe. It is Bob the Blue. It is Groundhog Day, and it will be Groundhog Day at the end of until the end of the season. Because even when these two things are done, unless Super Silky has really earned his money and been able to show the Premier League Commission that where Everton should have put the money means that the other charge goes away, then we're going to still be facing another charge anyway, aren't we? And we could have that situation where we get 5 points back and then we get 5 points taken again at the end of the season. Because that's the nonsense that this Premier League has created. What have you made of that? I don't know how true the letter is from Arsenal to the Premier League to skew them. Have you seen that one?
No.
Where basically Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United are telling the Premier League it's quite obviously a thing against Manchester City, if it was real. I'm not convinced it's real, of course. But signed by Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United and Tottenham in 2012, telling the Premier League how to do the spending.
No, it doesn't surprise
how
me.
it should be done, rather than... I mean, anyone could have done this, by the way. This is just doing the rounds. I'll forward it for you to look at your perusal, but it's you know... I must stress, it might not be genuine, but people are mad who make these things up if they have. But
no, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all either. There, but these things, we keep saying it, these things aren't fit for purpose, are they? So we'll have to just get on and see what happens. I think the best thing for everybody, and like what Alan Stubb said yesterday, is just let us know where we stand, and then we can maybe start moving forward and certainly start talking about football. And we have to go from there. And these things moving forward for the league have to have deadlines. They have to. Everything. I mean, things like the points and stuff. Why does an appeal take so long? That needs sorting out. And ironically, they're in their new things that they're putting forward. They want to speed everything up. So why is this not as important to speed up then? If you're going to do it in the future, why can't you do it now? It's the same with when we talk about VAR. They're trying to, we need to get faster. Yeah, you do. Why can't you get faster now then?
If you break it, you should just have to do a course.
Like a speed awareness course.
Yeah, I think so. Just bring all the directors of football in and the accountants and just sit them down and tell them,
you've been naughty.
Been naughty, you've got to pay.
Don't do it again.
£10,000 fine and you get a course.
I mean, what do you think?
Rick Parry tells you.
What do you think Everton will do? Evertonians with this verdict. If this verdict isn't what else can Evertonians do? The sort of like the next one being like things like tennis balls being thrown.
There's things in my head that I'd like to do.
No, of course,
personally,
of course,
but
there's lots, but
get arrested.
You've got to. No, well, this is the problem, isn't it? Is that like what happened at Reading was a huge thing, and it was, and everyone started talking about Reading. It was a big thing. That would be hugely embarrassing for the Premier League if fans got on the pitch and just sat on the pitch and the game had to get a ban. But the problem is, it's those people are risking being banned then. So it's...
I don't know. I mean, there are things fans could do, things that we've seen, like the tennis balls and stuff like that. That could just stop a game, but the fans don't enter the field to play, things like that. But I don't know. I don't know why. What are you doing that for? Reading are doing that because I think Reading fans and other fans have done that because they want the awareness of what's going on at their club. Oh, the game's been stopped at Reading. Why? People start asking questions then. Why has that happened?
Yeah.
I think at Everton, there's been quite a lot of publicity about it, whether it's the right publicity for us as fans or what. We've had publicity about it and people are choosing not to listen and are writing other stories. Everton as a football club are going down things another way. I seen the piece this morning about the new stadium and getting that across, almost like driving home. This is the thing that has put us where we are. Seen the piece with Alan Myers this morning, and it's a nice piece, and that's how they're choosing to fight it by saying, "Look at this." I mean, we live and breathe it every day. We see it. We watch the videos and we see all the stuff from inside and outside stuff that Everton do. We've been down to the Liver building and looked at concept art and done the VR thing and all that. Maybe we might get to go in, who knows, at some point and film for ourselves. But for fans of other clubs, all that might pass them by. That might just all pass them by. They don't live in our world. They don't live in our orbit. So a lot of that pass them by. So seeing stuff like that is important because it tells the wider football world what's going on and that there is a stadium. And, I'm sure, I remember when Gary Neville did the thing and he was just like, I thought they were talking about it, or I thought it was still in the design process. I mean, this was like a year ago, less than a year ago, and it's like, it's there, mate. It's literally there. I've seen fans over the last 12 months be like, from other clubs, being like, still thinking that it's something that's happening in the future, where it's like, no, it's happening now. In fact, it'll be built this year. So it's important to get that message out. I suppose if you can add on to that the context of everything, and Everton is probably subtly trying to do that by just putting those pieces out, and people maybe put one and one together and realise that the reason Everton are in this situation is because of that stadium. But I think even that point needs to be driven home, because I think there's been a lot of different stuff said online about that and about the loan. I think Everton just have to come out and be open about it, and don't lead anyone the wrong way on it, using clever wording or anything, and and be very, very transparent about the whole situation. But the stadium's there. The stadium is there, but I don't know. I don't know whether, if we are trying to stop things, or we are protesting for the sake of just being, just wanting anarchy, then maybe that'll happen. If we just want to disrupt the Premier League, I think what we've all learned is it is like an echo chamber. The Premier League, in a way, it's you're playing by their rules, and sadly, we signed up to those rules, and that's the problem. There's nowhere else to go. If those three people sit in a room and just go, if those three people sat in a room and just said, nah, you're guilty, and you're getting the 10 points, and you're getting the next 10 points, what could we honestly do? If they want, want us out of this league, if they want to make an example of us, what can we do? And that doesn't, by the way, that doesn't mean don't do something, but that's what it feels like at the moment. It feels like if they want something to happen, they're going to make it happen. They don't care. They don't care about us. They don't care. They're just trying to preserve. They're running scared now. They're doing the thing that is happening in politics at the moment, where when someone does something wrong, instead of holding their hands up and going, we did something wrong, they double down on it, and they create factions. And I think that's what the Premier League have done, in a way, is gone, oh no, we're not admitting we've done anything wrong. Richard Masters isn't admitting anything wrong. He's doubling down on it and going, this is why we did it. And he's creating factions against Everton. Now, people might go, you're being paranoid on that, but we're not, because we see what people say. We see what fans say. We've seen what people have written this day. I've seen fans online saying that Everton have overspent by millions of pounds. Oh, you're guilty of sin. You spent millions of pounds. And why did you build? This is all narrative that is generated bit by bit. We know how what a tool the internet is for creating propaganda. If you want it, if you feed some people a narrative, they will take it. They say, if you feed the right wolf, that's where we are right now. The narrative coming out of the media is being pushed. The Premier League didn't like the reaction when it first happened. They thought they'd pat us on the head, give us our points deduction, and we probably would go away quietly, because they don't want any more of their cupboards open. There's far too many skeletons in them. But we didn't. We, as a fan base, we rallied, and some people backed us on that. Some journalists backed us on that. But unfortunately, they've got onto that, and the second charge has allowed them to go, no, see, they've done it twice. They're not an innocent party, and it's allowed people to just keep pushing the pressure on us, and that's where we are right now. And that's why we just need a decision. That's why we need a decision on both of these things, so we can just go, right, we know what we are, where we are, we know who owns us, and at least we know what we need to do to get out of it. Like Stubb said yesterday, you're sitting there and you're in the bottom three. You're not looking at the asterisks, you're looking at the bottom three. That's all you care about. And we need to be put in a situation where we're not looking at like asterisks anymore. We're looking at what the real reality of our situation is. Because it's still like that thing in the back of the mind going, but. The sooner that gets dealt with, the better.
It's rubbish though, isn't it? Because it's the whole thing, we keep saying it, and I won't stop saying it. The whole thing is being created. But it's almost like you're getting punished for something that the rules aren't there to punish you for, though. That's what bothers me. It's not. If it was all in their rules and you could go, look, can't moan because it says there. It doesn't say anywhere. They're just making the thing up. If it was in their handbook that went, the minute you go out, I mean, John Blaine, his like thing of how points, if you were really ever going to take points off a team, the scale makes sense. The 6 points has been plucked from the sky, and that shouldn't be anywhere near Everton. But if you went 1 point per 5 million, you went over, everybody would know that. Then you would have a conscious business decision. I still don't agree with it. I still think the thing that has been put in place isn't there to do with the sporting side at all. It's there to do with keeping your head above water, apparently. But like you said, you've got a decision to make. You either open the floodgates and go do whatever you want. You can have a spending cap if you want. If you're genuinely putting these rules in place to try to call it financial fair play. So the fair play is to stop you blowing other teams out the water because it's not fair.
Yeah.
Right? Then give everybody a spending cap.
Yeah, that's
the way. But they're not there for that. Profit and sustainability is about, well, the sustainability one is the big thing, isn't it? It's about keeping your club in the community. It's about protecting your club. But the club's around for 100 odd years before these rules come in.
It'll all change soon. It'll all be gone. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. The football will get bored of this very quickly, and it'll move on, and this'll all disappear. Okay, it'll absolutely all disappear. They'll bring new rules in, and with the new rules, they'll go, oh, yeah, we've got these new rules. No one will fail them. No one will fail them. They will find ways so everybody passes them, and that's the thing. It's nonsense. It's boring. It's just boring now. It's just boring. We all want it sorted, and it's just very, very boring. Someone just said in the comments there, why won't we go on TalkSport? We won't go on TalkSport because, well, number one, right, we won't go on TalkSport, owned by Murdoch. We won't go on TalkSport, won't go on Talk TV. Certainly wouldn't go on any of the other nonsense with GBs involved. The only way I would go on TalkSport, right, or I think any Evertonian in our position should go on TalkSport, is if they invite us down in and let us go in the studio and have a proper conversation about this. Not on the phone where they can cut you off every time you make a point that they don't like, because they love doing that. If you're on the Simon Jordan show and someone makes a good point that they don't like, they just cut you off. They just cut over you and then start talking over you and then tell you why they're right. So the only way I would possibly consider it, or I think anyone should consider it, is going down there and going in their studio and having a proper talk about this, a proper chat about this. It's not worth going on the phone with any of these people. It's just not worth it. The only way it's worth doing is being in a studio live with them. That's the only way. Because we've seen how media can manipulate these situations. They take it whichever way they want it. And if Simon Jordan or someone like decides that you're wrong, he'll just talk over you and they'll just put you on mute. So that's the only way I would ever consider it. And that's only simply to correct their narrative. And they do have a powerful voice, and I understand why people would say, why wouldn't you want to go on there? But honestly, I'd have to physically be in the studio, because when you're on the phone, it's just nonsense. They just cut you off.
Sky, the video Alan Myers has done, I presume, I've not seen it yet, but James says Everton had a piece on Sky about the stadium, all the benefits to the area, and the cost 500 million. And Plucky Panda says, yes, Sky selling the benefits of our stadium to the economy and the fans. But that's it. This is what it's about. I just don't understand. Well, listen, they've done it now, haven't they? They're never ever they're not gonna turn around and change it, are they?
Even that piece though, right? And this is the problem, is even that piece, I saw it online from Alan, so I haven't seen it on Sky. So if you've seen it on Sky, when was it on? Is it on every hour? Is it being bounced around? Is it going to be on tonight? Keep an eye out for it, and if you see it, and let us know, because again, Alan's good work. That's what Alan does. But the point being is, when does it go on? When is it being shown? Every hour? Is it being shown in prime time? Is it being shown in the first 10 minutes after the hour, when most people are switching on? And after 10 minutes, most people switch off, don't they? They watch like the news and then they go away. All these things are really important. They're really important. It's not just about saying, Sky have done a piece. Sky have done a piece. It's when it's on, how often it's on, who's watching it. Is it on YouTube? Are people watching it on YouTube? That's the thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a good piece, and Alan's done brilliant with it, and Everton have opened the door up. But you're relying on Sky then to put it in their schedules every hour. We've been on a few times and they've come in and it's been live and it's been a great piece. But it's there and it's live and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you never see it again for the rest of the day. And people are like, where is it? And We might get sent a copy of it, or they might, if you're very lucky, put it on YouTube. But that's why it's important if it is on YouTube. And I'm sure we can speak to Alan about that. If it goes on YouTube, then we can at least bounce it round and get it out there and go, have you seen this video? It's boss, what the Sky have said about Everton's new stadium. That all plays a big part in it. You know, we put a video on last week about the stadium. It's had like 50,000 views and hopefully it's more than just Evertonians. And every time Everton put a video on the stadium, it gets thousands of views. And I know the lads, Mr. Drone and SS Skies and Paul Frost and Barry and all the other lads who are doing the drone videos, theirs get loads of views all over the internet because that's where people are watching now. So hopefully it's a good piece, but hopefully it doesn't get buried at like quarter to the hour when nobody's watching, and it only goes out every other hour and things like that. So those things are really, we're at the hands of these people as well. So I mean, the easiest thing to do is just for Everton is just let us in. That's just the easiest thing. Just let us in with the camera, we'll go nuts for an hour.
There you go. It isn't on the YouTube at the moment, Sky's YouTube channel. Hopefully it will at some stage, because it'll be a great piece because Alan's done it. And obviously it's incredible. The stadium is absolutely incredible. Show us where then. Send us the link, because I've just looked on Sky Sports. It's not there. So send us the link.
Yeah, put the link in the comments so other people can. Let's get it bouncing around if it's there.
The Blue says, I like Alan, but how is he comfortable working for Sky? Because it's his job. He's a journalist. You can't. I get this with people who you see it with people going like, oh well, he should just go. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. Why are they working for that? People have families and mortgages and food and to pay for. Don't know whether you've noticed. There's a recession. Officially today, we're back in a recession apparently. You can't turn around and go, well, you never throw Everton. He loves Everton. He's a diehard Evertonian, Alan, but he's also a brilliant journalist and has been been he's been a director at Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah. So someone's just messages there. Everton Stadium piece was on Sky at 7:45, sandwiched between boxing news and NFL parade incidents. Not seen it since, but happy to be corrected. So again, that's nothing to do with Alan. That's up to Sky Sports News, but that's what we're talking about. It's great he's done the piece, but if you have to go to Alan's Twitter to find the piece, then what's the point? Because the piece is to show the wider world.
Yeah, we've been sent the link.
Right. It's
on Sky Sports News. That's why I apologise. I looked on Sky Sports Football and Sky Sports. That's my thing. And the first comments underneath, as a United fan and architect nerd, I'm blown away with this stadium. See? Lots of people. That's brilliant. So we'll have that as well, and we'll bounce that everywhere. Absolutely brilliant. Looks incredible. I'll have a look at it in a bit. So thank you very much for whoever sent me that link. In fact, there's Basic Trick put it in as well. Yeah, thank you very much for that. That's great, and we will share that and keep it going because it's tremendous. It was Alan done the piece, James. He mightn't have been speaking on it. He done the piece. Trust me. Seen something before. Yeah. So that's the thing with that. The Blues, and you're intelligent enough to know that he's a journalist first, isn't he? Can't just say I'm not working for Sky because they won't put Everton.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the Sun. If it was the Sun, I'd agree with you.
But the other thing as well, right, is that Sky Sports are partners with the Premier League. So as much as we can moan all we want and we can call it out and go, it's terrible the way they won't do that, but they are partners as well, innit? So they're never really going to slag the Premier League off. That's just what I'm saying. I don't know. The Blues said fair enough, I suppose, but other people get criticism for not speaking up. Who then? Tell me.
But his job isn't. He's a journalist. He's not a pundit, is he? He's a journalist. Pundits are pundits. Journalists are journalists. That there is a massive distinction between the two of them, isn't there? You know, and that's for anyone. You know, anyone. There'll be more Evertonians who work for Sky. I mean, there are other Evertonians, know that for a fact. I know.
Julian Warren, Mr. Sky Sports
Vinny O'Connor. Vinny's a massive blue. Vinny ran on the pitch at Istanbul and his phone went off and it was Zedcars and Benitez kicked off on him. You know, he's a big blue, but these people are journalists. They're not pundits. It's not up to them to have the opinion. But he'll be working to try and get those stories out, and he's done a good story. And it's up to all us fans to bounce that round and to make sure as many people see it as possible. You know, title it something like this is the reason.
Like the Blues, hang on. Right. So if you're a journalist working for the BBC and you're reporting on a story and you don't agree with the BBC's presentation of it, you're not going to stand there on a BBC feed and criticise the BBC, are you? You're just not going to do it. We all do it. We all do it, mate. We'll all look and go, I don't agree with what my boss is doing here, but he's my boss. Won't we? That's it. Listen, I'm not trying to change your opinion. I'm just giving you an alternate opinion. That's up to you. You decide in your head what you think is right. I wouldn't look at Alan to do that. For me, that isn't his job to go, Sky should be doing this. Trust me, because I do speak to Alan. He is trying to get things out there on Sky. Ultimately, it's not him, is it? He's not the producer, or he's not the fella who decides what goes on their channel. Alan was livid that our stuff never went on when they come here, but that was a Sky decision. The same way with Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham done a 25-minute interview the same way me and Ped did, and that didn't get on there. I'm quite sure people at Sky are fuming that it didn't go out, but if you're looking at it from a business perspective, it isn't Sky's job really to start slagging the Premier League off if they're in partnership with it, is it? Don't forget, the Premier League is still big to Sky. It's the biggest thing they've got, really, still. It's a tough one. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, listen, the rules are wrong. The rules are wrong. That's the top and bottom of it all for me, is the rules are wrong. Because, and again, I said it with Forest, I don't believe Forest should be given points deductions, even though on the face of it, it looks like they just bought players to stay in the division, and that's probably not what the Premier League want. But even then, if I'm Nottingham Forest, I'm arguing against the league with their rules. I'm saying to the league, well, hang on, you're having a go at us for just trying to stay in the division, but nowhere in your rules does it mention sporting advantage from PSR, nowhere. If it did, if it said the reason you can't spend money is you're not allowed to gain sporting advantage, then you've got you over a barrel, really, haven't it, if that's what you're doing. But Carl says, I've had Sky News on all morning and haven't seen it once. I have seen it on YouTube. Fair enough. Anyway, Alan's done it. It's a good piece, I imagine, because it'll be in the stadium, and there's not been that many done within the stadium. We've seen one with Everton done with Jags last week, and that was good. We'll see what happens. Mark says, fingers crossed, lads, from Bogota. Cheers, Mark. Derek says that headline could be posted any time in the year. The 777 verdict, yeah. Ian Spencer says downloaded the SofaScore app yesterday and loving it so far. Good lad, Ian. Good lad. It is free. It's a good app. Jake says the money Everton would have made doing a behind-the-scenes series would have easily seen us over the line in the finances. Absolutely. And if I'm 777 and they do get the go-ahead, the first thing I'm doing is speaking to Amazon or something and going, right, we want to sell this because there's 10 million quid coming into the club immediately. Yeah, exactly. There's your first thing immediately. Last season at Goodison, new ownership. Hopefully new play. There's a lot of stories there, isn't there? It's an income, it's a big income stream that Everton don't have. and us as fans, we'd love it. I think a lot of people would like to have a look at them. I mean, I watch all of them. I'll be honest, I won't watch the Liverpool one.
No.
But I watch all of the others. Mark says, out of the three of you, who would pull off the baseball cap and suit combo the best? I don't think I would. The suit, yeah, I'm all right with the suit. I'm baseball cap on the suit. I'm not convinced I could pull that off.
I think you'd have to be over 6 foot to pull that off.
Yeah. I think you'd be better with the baseball cap.
Ned looks like the milk tray man today.
If the milk tray man was 12 and going into a fancy dressing school. There's which?
Fewer more distressing sights than that.
Oh, there is, and you don that distressing sight most days with your attire. So, yeah, don't know. Josh says, good afternoon, lads. Question for you to deliberate on. Which season for you was better, 2012-13 or 2013-14? So Moyes' last season or Martinez's first season?
Martinez's first season. Easily. Yeah.
Why easily, though?
Because we got more points and we had more wins. I think that's a decent way of looking at it.
Fair enough.
That's all I really care about. Winning games.
I like Moyes better than Martinez, so I'm going to say 12-13.
That's cool.
And we were boss in that season. That goal we scored against West Ham, Morales' first, was an absolute unbelievable goal.
We were boss under Martinez at times.
You were all right. Yeah, at times. There's the clarification. Steve P says, Bars Brentford have signed Igor Thiago for 30 million as Tony's replacement. Yeah, you did mention him. Yeah, well, there's lots of them around, mate, and we aren't in any position to get any of them until we sell Onana. So we just have to let everybody else do it, mate. And see where we go. Brentford's biggest challenge will be staying in the Premier League, so they need Tony to keep banging goals in, otherwise they're gone.
I think they'll be all right.
No, well, if he scores, they will.
I think they'll be all right.
They've even only won one game. They've won 2 now, isn't it? 2 games since he come back, but that's as many as they had in the previous 15 or something without him. So, Myers says, we've seen what happened on TalkSport with the Esk. He was making great points about the finances and Jim White cut him off and asked him what does he think about the stadium.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Like he was an 11-year-old.
That's what they do. You've got to be in the studio with them if you want to have a decent conversation. Don't like it. They drive the narrative. They drive it's their narrative. It's to make, they don't want people making them look silly.
No.
They want to put YouTube videos and clips out of them ridiculing. You know, there's never any clips of anyone ridiculing Simon Jordan, is there? No. Or whatever. It's always them ridiculing somebody. So don't play their game. It's as simple as that.
Simon says, according to reports, Roy Hodgson is going to be sacked by Palace. Let's hope we can beat them on Monday evening.
Well,
big game.
Roy Hodgson apparently has just been rushed to hospital, so I think
has he?
Yeah. So training's been cancelled and he's been apparently been taken to hospital. So I think there's other things there to worry about at the moment than whether they get a new manager or not. So
second time he's been ill, isn't it? And
yeah, I know the press conference has been cancelled. And let's be honest, I wouldn't think anyone would say that because they were just about to sack a manager or something. So that would be quite deplorable, wouldn't it?
No, I don't even think they can sack him right now anyway, then. Can they?
No.
They're going to have to wait now, especially with that. And who knows the pressure they've put him under. Doesn't look good for Crystal Palace, that. Peter Beryl said they showed Alan's full report, and then they edited it down to about a minute in the end.
There you go. As I was saying.
Yeah. What can you do, though? What can you do? Zach says, imagine how nice it'll be to talk about football. The way the Premier's treated fans is a disgrace. Everything feels so stale. Yeah, it is mad. It is mad. Where are we? Me, 21311516 says article today. The Telegraph Ped was wrong with that they can't refuse 777, so it's definitely 777's fault for the delay. Seems like Baz was right. Well, I don't think Ped had an opinion and I had an opinion. At the end of the day, I knew 777 would give them all the answers. I knew that. Two people who knew, so I knew it wasn't that. But it's only an opinion, isn't it? We'll see. They still might be rejected. They can be rejected. So we'll see. But we just need to hurry up. And my issue is with the whole thing. I just want a decision, one way or the other, because this just dangling the same way as the points deductions just dangling, the same way as the next charge just dangling, is an absolute disgrace to me. How can you think it's a proper season when you've got someone at the top just going, we'll decide your fate. You've got to go through this all season and we'll just pluck dates out the sky when we do stuff. That is nonsense. Utter nonsense. If they said we'll deal with it in the close season, and that's the way it is, then I'd go, okay, at least it's not affecting football, is it? The games. But they have. The Premier League, this is a void season now for what they've done, because they've affected the whole playing conditions for Everton Football Club, and they're now doing it to Nottingham Forest. The only way that you can actually have this right is if you're going to include points deductions, is they come into effect for the start of the following season. It's the only way. So if Forest have done wrong, so to speak, they start next season minus. If Everton have done wrong, they start next season minus. You're not affecting results in real time, which is essentially what they're doing by just dragging. Because you're changing everybody else's game plan, so to speak. Luton got a huge boost because Everton got points taken off them. They were dead and buried. It's no coincidence that the minute Everton got them points stripped, Luton all of a sudden started getting some results. And Everton's results hit a buffer after we got the first few wins. We got a couple of injuries and it was game over for a bit. Everyone gets a boost, where if Everton would have still had the points now, Luton wouldn't even be looking at Everton and going, oh, they might get whatever points. Listen, they could have been, Everton mightn't have won the 4 games. Everything's up in the air, but it's definitely affected us as fans, and we're the people that are supposedly the game can't do without. And the Forest fans will be feeling exactly the same. You're a Forest fan now. You're looking, going, oh my God, Everton were 19 million over. Reports yesterday in the Nottingham Post, which is similar to the Echo, are saying they're 112 million over. I don't know where they've got that figure from, and that could be crazy numbers. But I've seen a lot of Forest fans who are following their story saying they're at least 40 or 50 million over. Well, if Everton got 10 points for 19.5 million, what are they getting? So they're down, aren't they? They get 12 points or something. They're gone, aren't they? They couldn't win. They're not. Me personally don't believe they're a good enough team to recover from 12 points right now and stay up. So all their mental health and the playing conditions around them will change now. How can that be allowed when in your own rules it tells you that it's got nothing to do with the sporting side? And yet they're now affecting the sporting side, and then they're saying they won't give you a fine because, you know, you might have a wealthy owner, and yet you are getting fined because you're dropping places. And the whole thing is there to keep a club financially stable, yet we're putting your position in this league in jeopardy, not you. If you put yourself in jeopardy because your results are crap, like Everton have done in the past, you deserve that. That's your fault. They're doing it now. So they're putting us at risk of, not only do we then have to sell our best players, they're also taking, it's something like a 50-60 million pound hold for one season. That's with the parachute. If it's longer than one season, it goes up even more. So they're doing that here as well. That's going against everything that their rules are supposedly in place for. So who's winning here? Nobody. The only real, again, this is just me, but the only real way you can sanction a club so that they get their finances right, which is essentially what these rules are supposed to be doing, is give them either a transfer ban or reduce their squad to me, reducing the squad I keep saying it, is a win-win on two hands. One, it forces the club to either loan them players out for a year while they try to get through the ban, or they sell them, which means money comes back into the football club. You also have to then promote 5-year under-21s to be part of your first team squad. At some stage, them kids are playing. You're not getting through a season with 8 subs and that's it, no injuries. Them kids are going to be involved, which means their development goes up a level, which means, you know what, we might come out of it with a couple of actual Premier League footballers. The club, everything with the finances has to shrink in that year. Where if you've got, and John made a good point the other day, if you're looking over a 3-year rolling cycle, and your 3rd year of that rolling cycle shows you in profit, you trying to do the right thing, that should be that should give you some mitigation to go, they are doing it. And tell you what we'll do, we'll watch you next season as well. We'll look over you and monitor you, and if it goes down again, then you're on the right track.
It doesn't make any sense that you wouldn't do that anyway. Because if the first 2 years you've already been punished for them, then if they've done better in the 3rd year, then you're trying to improve. The whole thing's
all
nonsense.
a little bit absolutely. To me, it's just affecting it so much, and I feel for Forest fans because we're already going through it, aren't we? And now they're going through it. I don't feel for the few knobheads Forest fans who were having a go at us at the start, and now they're going, oh shit, yeah. You know, I was seeing yesterday, Pedro Neto must be sold in the summer to make Wolves comply by June 30th. Otherwise, they're gone. They're in trouble next year. It's. What is the point if that's it? If Chelsea can spend 600 million in a season and not breach, then how is that normal? How is that legal? How is that fair? It's absolutely pathetic. Doing it to prove a point. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Abdoulaye Doucouré posted some pictures today.
Well, Everton have posted some
Everton have, but he's tweeted them as well with this thing, which shows him back on the grass, getting true fitness.
We'd have Sean Dyche telling us that, but he hasn't got a mic on, so... No.
Sadly. So, hopefully...
I'm going to hear Sean.
Hopefully, we will have him back.
He'll be playing
inside on Monday, and obviously Amadou Onana as well is a return to the squad at the weekend, which is good. So I think that'll be a huge boost for us, won't it, on Monday night?
It'll be massive, won't it? We'll have choices. My God, man, we'll have choices.
Crazy. Dylan says Dyche should have 5 under-18 keepers on the bench. Maybe he would.
Makes sense, I think.
Maybe, you know. Sophie says, but Richard Masters is doing... Richard Masters' job is difficult.
There's wars and stuff. Wars.
I don't know. Crazy. Apparently, they're not mitigating circumstances for us, but for him. Yeah. Absolutely get well soon to Roy Hodgson as well. Hopefully he's okay. Fingers crossed that it's just a precautionary thing and it's, you know.
Will you be getting the...
Don't know.
Unique commemorative Goodison Park pack?
Don't know.
With your season ticket?
Don't know.
£65.
Apparently it's
actually £75. Everton just aren't telling you that. Which you get a map depicting L4 etched out of wood and featuring a 3D Goodison Park sat in a high quality frame and ready to hang. You've got that. That's safe. A series of 6 pin badges celebrating some of our famous crests and their role in Goodison's history. Or Goodison's story. An exclusive designed metal sign created to replicate the former entrance on Goodison Road. And a print portfolio comprising iconic photos of the stadium past and present.
It does sound tremendous.
Yeah. I'll get one for the family.
Yeah.
I'm not getting one each because that would just be stupid. But I think that would be something. Throw it on eBay. I think that'd be something to commemorate the thing. And if you don't get it, you'd be like, "Oh, I wish I should have got that."
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe Everton to show everybody how good they are.
I think so. Hizzy, yes, he is back on the grass. He is. Yeah.
£10 for a physical card, which I think shit. And I'll tell you why I think shit, because it's the last season at Goodison Park. Everyone's going to want that physical card, and Everton are charging £10 for it. I think that's shit. I'll be honest on Everton. I think you're a shit the bed there. I actually think, if I'm really being a knobhead as well, I actually think every season ticket holder should get the commemorative pack for absolutely nothing, if I'm really being a knobhead. But I'll let you off on that one. But £10 for a card when it's the last season of Goodison, when everyone's going to want that card. Those cards don't cost £10. Not a chance on this earth. There's a piece of plastic cost £10. Not a... You are... That's bollocks.
Sorry, that letter is true. The letter is correct. Martin Samuels ran with it. The Arsenal, Man United.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Is genuine.
Well, you're like going Sesame Street now, giving us the letter of the day?
No, David, that could be something we do.
We have got a Muppet in the studio.
Hey!
Hey! Hey!
He's Alf.
Hey!
He's Alf. Hey, Alf.
Dun, 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 dun.
Two things I want to address is Emma says who'd win in a fight, Little Dickie Masters versus Big Dick Dwight. Well, without knowing how big Dwight is, I do know that image going round was madly... For some reason, someone decided to Photoshop his knob being mad. The one when McNeil's celebrating with the Corey. I don't know why someone would go and Photoshop his dick being bigger.
What goes through people's minds?
People are weird because he posted the original one, and the original one, it's just a normal pair of shorts.
Sunny day.
So that's mad. But I still think Dwight would have him. Dwight would take him. I thought you were going to say who'd win in a fight between Little Dickie Masters and Ned, and I would be backing Ned all day and every day. See, even that. He went into, as he threw the left and the right. Left and the right. He done Sean Dyche as well.
It's the things. The Masters would not know.
No.
The unpredictability of Ned.
No. Know what I'd do to Masters?
Hang on. What if it was hang on. What if it was a triple threat match? Right? Triple threat. Introducing now to the ring, Little Dickie Masters.
Boo.
Introducing now to the ring, Ned.
Boo.
Introducing to the ring now, a seagull.
I actually don't think Masters could cope with the seagull either. I think him and Masters, fish and chips on Llandudno Pier. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going for.
See, what I think would happen is
the seagull would have them.
No. What would happen is Ned would go like to the seagull. Me and you, like that. Be like getting the chips, throwing them at Masters, and then when the seagull's taking Masters out, Ned would turn on the seagull, go full heel, and the seagull wouldn't see it coming.
No, but the seagull still have them off. Seagull would just go up like that, do like an inverted swoop dive and take Ned out. Alpha had no chance. I don't know. He's calling edgies on
Is that your finishing move?
You know what?
Edgies.
You could actually confuse the seagull just by shouting edgies at it. The seagull would be like, what the fuck are you on about? Stephen says my physical card was 5 last season. It was, mate. But now it's 10. Everton fan 123 says, Baz, if you wanted Everton to achieve something this season, what would it be? Europe, mid-table, or just anything better? Absolutely Europe, mate. Absolutely. Being Europe every single year. Steve P says, Baz, would you agree that Forest had an on-field advantage from breaching it, which we didn't? So I feel like it's completely different. They spent a lot of money in the short period and signed too many players. They did, and theirs is easier to kind of go, well, they failed it because they did this. They're not building a stadium. They've done it this way. But they've still earned the points they've earned, haven't they? Yeah, we can listen. But who's had a bigger on-field advantage? Manchester City, Chelsea, or Nottingham Forest? I get your point, and I do think it is a different one than Everton's one. But I still don't agree with points deductions. I just don't, and I never will. And especially when it isn't in black and white. It isn't written down as a rule. I will never agree with it. If it's a rule and we all look and go, right, we know if we go £5 million over the 105 million across 3 seasons, then we lose 1 point. If we go 10 points over, we lose whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the way it is. We spend 50 million, we lose 10 points, whatever it is. I get it. That I understand. I look and I go, right, we could take a calculated risk then. We buy this player, we're going to lose 3 points this season. However, we think he's going to get us 3 more places up the league. You're taking a calculated risk. what you've just got to ask yourself the thing of what is the PSR in place for? It's not in place to stop unfair sporting advantage. Chelsea have just had that. It's not fair to allow one club to spend 600 million and other clubs like Everton have brought £25 million profits in, yet we're the ones being dragged across the coals. That isn't fair. A normal person who's level-headed would go, that isn't fair in the same league. That's not fair. That's stupid. But these rules aren't fit for purpose are being used. But yeah, I don't know. Gareth says Seagull all the way. Already have the t-shirt printed, just waiting for the date to be added. Yeah. Chris says Chelsea have been holding players for the last 18 years. Yeah. Eugene says Everton take over 777 partners deal approved by the FA. That's Goodison Insider speaks of.
Goodison Insider.
No, there is no one from Goodison.
Goodison Insider.
Sophie says, where's Alison Britton in all of this? She's the chair. Yeah, she's kept her head down, hasn't she? That's just called Alison Britton a Seagull lover.
Yeah.
So fair play. Fair play. Let's just have a look at some of the Premier members' comments before we wrap this up like Run DMC would. Get on here.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, don't want to know. When you say it like that, I never want to know. So don't tell me.
Galway United
No.
posted an image of a player holding a stop sign, accompanied by the song Murder on the Dance Floor, despite him having been banned from driving for killing a father of two in a 3-car collision. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what's happening with Ned, to be fair.
That is bad.
James says Sky Sports have already chopped the 888 seats off our new stadium by calling it a 52,000 stadium.
Nice one, lads.
Yeah, I'm not leaving that one out, Paul. Masters already has the DX theme, and Jonathan Rickard says seems from reports saying 777 have already told they're being approved. Yeah, well, this is what I've said all along. It'll be the last bits they're doing, the little on all that. Let's get on with it then. Let's get on with it and see what's what. The press is on them. The minute they take the reins, all eyes switch on to them then. They better be ready. Yeah. There you go. Just the other 14 on Twitter, on X, which is it's a good account actually. Takes out the Sly Six, but just again showing Everton about 327 shots this season and scored 26 goals from an XG of 36. Poor. That makes us by far the biggest underachievers in terms of XG. Which is Grimsby Town, isn't it? No disrespect to Grimsby, but you know what I mean. But yeah, there you go. Right, we will be going over in a bit to M-Tag. Ned has slipped it in, so you don't have to go nowhere. What do you want to do? Another 5 minutes?
On this?
Yeah.
No, bored on me yet.
Yeah, I thought he was bored because playing with his phone.
Oh.
So we'll be on More Than a Game at 2:10. What a time. 2:10.
Time to be alive.
Basically 10 minutes. Get yourself a drink. Get over there. Let's talk something different. Not Everton and bleeding points deductions. We can't talk if you've got a different point about Everton. Do we? But let's see where we go.
Get on the grass.
In the grass.
Get on
Right.
the grass.
See you in a minute.